payroll tomorrow?
No,
Or tax?
just payables.
Oh, payables.
Just payables.
That's not as
Payables
big.
Day.
Oh, yeah, it is too.
Good morning, commissioners and Judge Brazel, Nicole. I'm gonna start kind of at the bottom and kind of work my way up. So our supplies, I'm asking everything just remain the same. I don't need increases in anything. Our postage continues to kind of go down. The more electronic payments that we have, we're kind of urging every payer to go EFT instead of a check. Our lovely post office, if I mail you a check today from Hillsborough to the city of Hillsborough, it takes about 20 days.
What?
Yes, it is ridiculous.
Walking across the park.
That's what we do. We just drop it out there. Walk, drive, we just take it from there. I personally hand deliver our Hillco bills because I drop by it twice a day. So I just drop in there and get a receipt. So we should continue over the years to see that decline, the more people that go electronic payment. My operating expenses, the only thing I'm asking to increase is the bonds and insurance, as y'all saw the email from Miss Susan. So I just put 594 in there. For our salaries and benefits, I really wasn't sure where the court was going to go this year, so I just used the salary survey numbers because we did pay for a service. They did not compare us to anyone out of state. They compared us to like-sized counties in population, like-sized counties in similar revenue. Nothing out of state again. It was all in-state counties or cities. I just use those numbers historically for me in particular. Myself, the county clerk, the district clerk, and the tax assessor have all been in a box making the same wages. And they found that that should not be true. They found that we should all be different. And if you look at the Texas Association of County salaries, you will follow the pattern that they're not all the same. So I dove into my local government code for my duties, and I'm going to let y'all know my duties that I perform in my office. I fulfill all HR related responsibilities, which include payroll, onboarding, offboarding, benefits administration for our healthcare and ancillary services, all of our workers' compensation, all of our unemployment claims, our 1099s, our W-2s, along with overseeing our investments with the committee. And if you start looking at other counties, most of them have an HR department separate from the treasurer's office, paying another person a salary to do those. So mine is, I'm asking for $98,920 for my salary, which is a little high if you start looking, but at the same time, we're not employing another office to do these duties, which would be $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 to get an agent for it. As far as my staff, we work really hard in my office. Most of y'all walk in, our heads are down, we're busy working. We're not sitting there playing on our cell phones, on Facebook, any of that kind of stuff. We have a job to do and we serve our community by working hard. Oftentimes when you get your email for payroll, for your pay stubs, we're here till 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, finishing payroll. Well, all of y'all get to go home. Not all, y'all might be out with trees and stuff, but most courthouse staff gets to go home at 5 o'clock. So we're sometimes here. Susan, what were we? Almost 9 o'clock 2 weeks ago. It's, I mean, when you have software issues and bank issues, it happens. I also want to take a moment to let y'all know we implemented a product called Positive Pay with our bank, Wells Fargo. So when we run payables, we hand key in every check with the amount and the check number. So if you go home and try to duplicate a check fraudulently and present it at your bank, our bank is going to say, hey, this doesn't match, and it's going to decline it immediately. Same thing for wires, anything like that. So if someone's trying to fraudulently cash our funds, what we're doing is protecting our taxpayer dollars, and it says, no, do not honor this payment. So you cannot bypass that system. We tried it with the sheriff's office first because they have 3 accounts that are very small, and Miss Amanda Miller tackled that project alongside herself. It worked very, very well. I've implemented it with all of my accounts that I house in my office. I will be talking to Marshall, our district clerk, next, and our tax assessor so they can get on board as well, especially the tax assessor because she has such a high volume dollar in her accounts. And so I think that we've really streamlined a lot of processes in our office and guarded our funds with all of the 40 accounts that we have. Also in the IT department's budget, there has been $30,000 held for numerous years for my office in that budget. And this year I will be giving that back to the general fund. It is something that we are not going to utilize. It is a software that was approved before I came on board. And when I dug into it, the software has a lot of problems that I do not agree with and a lot of security breaches. So I'm just going to give that back to the general fund. The only other thing, sorry, go ahead. I do have a part-time staff member right now, and I would ask that those funds be rolled into my full-time wages. I'm asking for 12 hours every week, just to make her full-time. And part of that is Martin had provided us with Kathy at 911 to assist my office in record retention, to digitize all of our records. And I would like to house that in my office moving forward.
Any questions?
No. Kathy at 911 was digitizing all of our records electronically. And so I would like to bring that back in my office moving forward.
So make your part.
So instead of
Make my part-time a
outsourcing,
full-time.
your part-
Correct.
That's-
Correct.
No,
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. I'm glad we got to work you in.
Thank you so much.
All right, Commissioner Precinct 1.
sorry.
What you got?
Well, based on our first look at the salary survey, and anticipating the possibility, so I built in a 7% across the board salary increase to get the guys kind of in line with where they need to be. You gotta keep the team together, you gotta keep them motivated. And the work we do, as all the commissioners know, is pretty thankless. And it's never ending.
We did, by the way, as you brought that up, we did get a phone call the other day that did thank one of you for their. Yeah, it was a thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not even, I could go back and find out, but I just feel like it's nice to we'll just blanket.
Hey, listen, I'll take those all day long. I claim it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we did get a thank you on A Road.
What else did they want? That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I got a text this morning, you gonna go fix that one?
No, sir.
You just got one.
Yes, one.
We've got some equipment needs coming up this year. We're gonna go through our yard and salvage surplus, discard, put up for auction. A lot of equipment that's just not functioning. I've got 2 rollers, neither one work. I'm gonna have to replace both of those. I've got 1 pneumatic wheel roller that we're gonna try to fix. We're gonna try to build it. We took the motor off of the back drive and we're gonna fix it. The other one needs a water tank, and the other 2 rollers are just not fixed. So I've got some dump truck issues. Gonna have to replace 2 belly dump trailers and probably a truck. So I've got my work cut out for me just to kind of keep things rolling. In August, we've got our John Deere maintainer coming to the twilight of its lease. And my plans are to turn that in and do a purchase lease with Caterpillar. And that my whole fleet will be in Caterpillar. If you're looking, I know that.
We have road and bridge or we're
Yeah,
not,
this road bridge,
or not.
we're not having anything.
Go ahead, sorry.
So, one of the things as we were going through the the hearing on the bonds and insurance, I undershot that significantly. So that should be $20,000. And then that increase will just carry on down to the end
Yes, sir.
end of the budget. Machine equipment rental, in the interim, between being able to purchase a new roller, I'm gonna have to rent a roller. Probably, maybe not two. I think I can get away with just one for right now, but, our repairs, as our equipment ages, are going through the roof. I just had to repair our distributor truck. Spent $17,000 having to go through it just to be able to chip seal. So on my remaining budget from last year, I've got some significant balances, but those are all going to be spent between now and the new budget year. We started our project out on 1240 today. They've surveyed that. They're getting ready to start bow magging that up. And we're looking forward to having that done, not only for county and the taxpayers, but the city of Whitney's, particularly there at the ISD. I mean, that's going to be a big deal for them. We went through a process. We did a traffic study. That road carries 1,600 cars a day. Speed limit's up to 65 miles an hour. So you remember a couple of courts ago, we changed that to 35 miles an hour and helped the city get that converted to a school zone. It's never been one for whatever reason, but anyway, really, the point I was trying to make there is the remaining dollars that I have in my budget that appear to be like I sandbagged. I did for this project, and I've got one chip seal project upon 1414 that we're going to finish probably before fiscal year starts. So that'll lead that up. Construction materials, just a moderate increase in that because of the prices went up on us from the pits, and that rolls your number down to 1.265, 266 for a road bridge. On FM lateral, guess we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I had the last budget, I had $40,000 for contract services, and I've already overspent that. We're finding the need to go out to help us catch up. I've only got one shredder, sidewall shredder, and then I've got a ground mower. So what I'm doing is I'm having I'm outsourcing a sprayer, third-party contractor to come in and get out in front. While it's got vegetation, we'll kill it, and then we'll burn it back, and then we'll cut it after it's dies off. And same thing there. I left the construction materials about the same as last year, and then reduced my fuel because I'm going to have a little bit left over. Capital outlay in FM laterals for the rollers, 2 belly dump trucks. And I built in some bridge infrastructure, and that may have grant fund money available. But across Mustang Creek on 1136, that's been a problem. A lot of the traffic on that road has increased significantly. And when you get a rain like we got on Sunday, Monday last week, it was 20 feet out of its banks. Mm-hmm. So I've talked with Yoder. I've gotten a bid from him of $250,000 for that bridge. And then in capital lease for debt service, that's the trade-in and the John Deere maintainer.
Are you anticipating $500,000 left over in the FM lateral budget this year?
Say that again.
The FM lateral funds, those come from the state. Or those don't come from the state, but they don't vary much from year to year, I don't think. Unless you built up a reserve, you'll have $6.6 million to pay out of there. We'll see.
Well, it's just fine.
But the grant, or if you get some grant funds, you can start.
Well, that's the increase over last year, Susan, was for the two machines, and I may have put that in the wrong account. I put the trade-in of the maintainer for the new that in there. And if you want to put that in another category, we can move that back to road and bridge.
Cause in, see. In y'all's FM lateral, y'all generally received projected this year, gonna receive 786,000. So to have just be able to spend more than that, you're gonna have some extra revenue somewhere. All of the FM laterals, yours is 786, precinct 2, 783, 891, and 4, 754,000. It's just the raw tax money without sale of equipment, of course, you said you had a trade-in with the maintainer.
Correct.
But when we get the revenue numbers in, Scott might have to modify your figures a little bit.
Well, we knew that coming in, huh?
Any questions for the commissioner? All right, it's on you then, sir. Precinct 2.
I still like to keep my part-time in there. I did not have one this year. I still like to keep that there. I need 2 full-time, part-time guys just to patch bottom. Precinct 2, we have completed over 80-90 miles of chip seal roads, but there's no money to redo those roads, keep them repaired. Not, I'm wasting my money. Try to improve the roads beyond, and there's people still begging the chip seal the roads. And that's one of the texts I got this morning that people have donated to help do that road. And I don't have the money to redo it. And I also, I've wanted for 10 years now, 11 years, for a budget that precincts can do something with. And I've got 3 low water crossings that are dangerous. One on 2109 or a dog pound, we call it, out of Whitney. And I've got a dirt road out here at Union Bluff that when it rains, they've got to go, they can't get out. It's a dirt road that I need to rebuild. And I've been trying to rebuild it for 2 years, and something else has always happened to do that. I've got 3 wooden bridges left, and 2 are still hung up with, where did they be? Still hung up with the state for 3 years now. It don't look like they're ever gonna happen. But I've got another wooden bridge that's gonna be a 70-80 foot bridge, 200,000 to build that bridge. So, I've asked for a lot, but I know I'm not gonna get it. But, as far as increase, my employees deserve it more than I do. Without them, they take care of the roads. They do a hell of a job. And I know Jim's got road that he wants us to help him chip seal. Scotty's got one that I'm the only crew that does that. And I'd like to give my foreman a little extra for his expertise on that machine. And he does know what he's doing with it. But it'd be great to have more money, but it's, everybody says, well, we pay our county tax. Yeah. Well, you compare this to McLennan County, there's no comparison. Their budget's county is $94 million. Hill County's 19 million, depending on what it's going to be this year. We can't do everything that everybody wants. But,
Well, the thing that people don't understand,
Mhm.
yeah, and I've started to explain it. Every time somebody brings that up, they don't want to hear it, but I make them listen to it anyway. Cause I pay all these taxes and my road looks like this. I'm tired of this, and they go off on the highway. So I started doing some sampling. You guys have heard this before. I took a $4,600 tax bill from the Covington ISD. And out of that, I get $252. And that includes FM Gladwell and what we get from the county.
Mhm.
$252 to maintain that road. I can't put a shovel load of gravel in the road.
It costs $200 average for loading rock out of the pit. Not counting the haul, that's just for the purchase of the rock. And, right now, there's so many trucks running at Connors now from Weatherford and coming down there for rock. And I just found out there's gonna be another solar system in my precinct this week on a dead end road, but. When I started the chip sales in 15, we had 3 disasters. I worked for the money, my employees bought the equipment. In 18, we had disasters. Then we started fixing the roads, and now the money's not there to keep them up. And people say, I pay my county tax, but they don't understand that we get 8% divided 4 ways.
Well, yeah.
Well, I get the least, which is, I tell people, look at your county taxes and I get a little less than 2% of what you pay. So
Mhm.
if they pay
Yeah.
$1,000, they get $20 and one phone call.
That's just like that appraisal,
It's crazy.
$500,000 to the appraisal district. The people don't see that. And they say, I want my county road, but everybody who lives in the city of Hillsborough, city of Whitney, they pay a county tax, but they don't live on the county road. So, the budget's gonna be what it's gonna be, how it's divided up, whether we get anything extra or not. It's just gonna work out that way. I guess I've expressed myself now.
You three?
Well done.
Commissioner three.
One more thing,
I'll scratch your money.
I need 2 pickups. I've got an 02 pickup with 280,000. I've got a 13 model pickup with 290,000.
Sound like one that riding around.
We do. It's 02, it's been there since before I was. I've got 808 model motor graders.
Yeah.
But I keep repairing them to keep them going, because I'm not borrowing $700,000 to buy 2 motor graders. And if I buy and start paying $300,000 a year in payments, I can't do anything to the things.
Yes.
We keep repairing.
Equipment
Okay,
is
I'm done.
out.
If you don't have equipment, you're not doing it, you're not working on the road.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Okay, Scotty.
All right, precinct 3,
Well, as you can see, mine's blank.
Commissioner Hawkins, you want nothing?
Never have asked for anything. Well, actually, I did ask for full-time employee. I'd like to keep him, but other than that, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. If we can bump up a little bit, that's great. If we can't, we'll just operate on what we got. We made it this year, so far.
On both,
We'll see, yes or no.
that was easy.
Well,
Well, because Larry already said everything he was gonna say.
Take the words right.
I might come back.
ain't no sense of saying all that again.
I might come back again.
All right, well then we'll move to 4. Mr. Lake.
No, really, I just added a little bit of extra. Whatever, because things keep going up, I do need to buy another truck, so. That's in excess of 100,000, so. Other than that, that's about it.
And
They
they
were, if I could find some more people, I was too short. I had one guy that I started to hire, and he started talking about in the last couple of years, he had back surgery and open heart surgery. And so I didn't hire him, and we went down to try to get Scotty in there too. I mean, he would have been a good employee, but I don't think our insurance can stand.
Nah.
That's what killed us a few years ago.
So you still have to, this year,
Yeah,
You know, I've got 5 employees.
that's what I've got.
And you got 5, you got 7,
I've got 6 at the moment, but
if they
I
show up. Yeah,
have an extra opening and I plan on filling that in October.
yeah.
I didn't because I had an employee pass away this year. And we kept him on, and so I didn't want to hire a guy and not have a full salary for him. So I just wait till October and put him on in, but I should have 7 at that point.
You know, and I got around 300 miles. Scotty's got what, 400 miles? And people want to know why we can't cover the roads which I'm blessed with the pit
That's
close.
Well, I was fixing
We
to
were
say,
hauling at Whitney, last week, and they were getting 6 loads a day each.
but I've heard it said, you've said it many times at this table. My guys got 22 loads yesterday, they got 26 loads yesterday, it takes us all week to get that many loads, you know?
Cause
Yeah,
it goes all the way down
Very short straw.
Mount
Station.
Mount Collins, what, 80 miles, 60 miles?
60
one way?
miles from the store in Malcolm to Rattler's Gate is 60 miles to go up. I've never measured the Connors, but
Uh,
60 miles.
you chose to live so far from rocks.
I know. And we got all the dirt.
We got all the dirt. We don't have any dirt, we got a bunch of rocks.
So hopefully Larry and I can find somebody that's capable. I mean, they'll have somebody that wants to, but they don't have the CDL,
Right.
they can't run a lawnmower.
I had an application on a guy who was really qualified with CDL, backhoe, loader. But he was making, he's wanting to come work for the county, but he was making $34 an hour in overtime.
As an operator.
Yeah, and the best I could do was 23.
No,
Well, those people out there on the solar farm running the road grader, they're making 42, 44 now.
yeah, you talk about somebody that doesn't know how to run something.
Oh, and they stopped on my guy and said, hey, you do this, because we can't figure out how to do it. I'm thinking, you're making $20 an hour more than my guy, and you don't know how to run it?
Yeah. And their Clinton's rented.
Huh?
So they fine.
Hey,
Got to
easy,
wind up.
easy. So I guess it's good time to come up with this idea, as it's fairly well known that my priorities are safety of the community, police, fire, EMS, and roads. I have no constitutional or any other authority over either of those things. But I can attempt to help you guys in the sheriff's office and EMS and fire from any angle that I can. One idea that I've brought up to myself, and I'm trying to think through it, is to give you guys what you had in construction materials last year. And then put a lump sum into a contingency fund that you could draw from once your construction materials are used. Then you would make the purchase, take the receipt for that construction material purchase to Susan, and she would backfill your construction material. That way, this fund would only be used for materials. You would still have to budget in your machines, your fuel, the blah, 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 all that. But I'm trying to, because it's gonna take us a while to plan and figure out how to wrap our heads around the long-term solution for our rates. That's not a simple conversation we can have in one day. There's just no way.
That's a
Yeah, it's a long-term solution. What I'm trying to do is remove the amount of roadblocks from you guys. And now that doesn't help you hire folks, that doesn't help your maintenance, that doesn't help your truck problems. But it is one roadblock that we could remove.
Well, what it would do, what you're talking about right now, say we did have a disaster. I've always tried to keep money back because I lived through a disaster like Larry has, and you can't wait on FEMA.
Right.
Anything may or may not be there. Meantime, folks gotta get to school, they gotta go to work, mail's gotta get delivered, you gotta get that road open. So that would allow us to spend more of our budget, knowing that that's sitting there in contingency, that if we could draw on, if we did need it.
So these funds right now, we're sitting in reserve, we have in our rainy day per se fund, we have 42% of our budget sitting there. I believe that's a little high. That's tax dollars that we took that we're not giving a return of. I would like to see that lowered slightly. I'm not saying that we're not gonna have a savings account where we can't replace the water heater. We're gonna have a savings account, we're gonna be able to protect ourselves. But at 40%, 42%, we're higher than the state recommends, and we're higher than the court's adopted rate. The court adopted 35%, 35%. We're sitting at 42. So it's wise to have it at 35%. I do believe that. I do think the people would like to see that
Drawn down.
gone
No
down
question.
and used. So that's where I'm talking about getting these funds is not from the tax money for this year, the revenues coming in this coming year. I'm talking about using revenues that we've already taken and not given a return on service. To put in that big lump sum. And again, only be earmarked, and this would have to be an agreement at this table. Right, of all the electeds, that these funds are earmarked strictly for material, road material.
It's 150 apiece.
I say that's part of the discussion.
Okay.
We'll throw a number out. That's discussable. And I'm kind of the mind that's first come, first served. I don't know if you guys like that. I think it means whoever's gonna go to work and get it done is gonna go to work and get it done, and they get the most of it.
I had,
Funny, you're not gonna get your head done.
I'll end up using 450,000 at FM level construction. I'm down to probably 100,000 left for 2.5 more months.
Right.
And I still, like, if I were to use this money, I've got 20 miles of chip seal roads that need to be re-chip sealed at 20,000 a mile. That's 400,000 right there.
So 150,000 is not enough.
Yeah.
That's, you boil that down.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We're gonna look at Jim, what was that, $350,000 or $325 for the deal over by the school, and that was.
414,
Oh,
414 for 7,150 feet.
Okay, so it's about what, 375, or 375,000 a mile? So, you know, you
It's
look
not
at,
cheap.
if we start working on the roads. He doesn't have a bunch of trees and fences and all right through there. If
Not
we-
right there. No, I don't have, I don't,
So.
we've already done the ditch work on the road.
So if we start redoing a road, $500,000 a mile, won't cut it.
But still, the right of ways are not wide enough for the road.
Well, I know you're gonna have somebody come in and take all those trees and all those fences out. And $500,000 a mile, we get it, we've got the 14.
And then build some litigation funds in for the landowners for taking the fence.
so the
Surely not.
That's just.
so the again, this is not a fix. Right? This is a
You're
ban.
just throwing out an idea.
I'm throwing out an idea, but, and here's the deal. If we go this route while we're trying to figure out, I propose that we're going to have a master plan done. Eventually to address this situation long term. But if, again, I have no constitutional statutory authority to do any of y'all's work. You guys are the road commissioners. But if it were me, I would identify my more traveled corridors, and those would be my focus. The goat trail, I'm sorry. That's not, if 4 people drive down it a week, that's
And
not
we-
gonna be my priority, you know?
We do that now.
Yeah.
People don't understand it,
Yeah.
but we do it.
Yeah,
You know, 1,400 miles at just $500,000 a mile, $700 million to pave our roads. And that's if you can get it done for $500,000 a mile. And.
And don't have any
Huh?
extraneous issues to deal
Yeah,
with.
and
I can
if
remember-
no,
we had a $700 million bond issue. We would need to
That's
have a
what you
huge
know.
stadium to get all the people in there. to talk about it.
But that's also just like the first year I'm thinking about this.
Yeah, this is,
Kind of a
again,
multi-year process.
right, this is not the solution. I
You're
promise.
not gonna really know anything till July the 31st.
Right, and that's true too. Seeing our revenues and where we sit, Justin, because what I've given you guys, which I didn't cover this, we just sped right off into the budget. The papers that I gave you guys are everybody's wants and needs from today. I've got it in my spreadsheet for operating expenses on down. I have not changed salaries from last year to this year. So only numbers that I am looking at right now are purely operating expenses. Okay, I have not taken into any raises, COLAs, salary surveys, any of that. Now, Ms. Parker and Ms. Susan are helping with that, and we're looking at multiple scenarios throughout. I want to see what all the numbers look like with just operating expenses with last year's salaries. What the salary survey looked like. I think we not looking at the salary survey would be a disservice. We pay for it, maybe at least look at it. And then some COLA options as well as the longevity pay. I think that been thinking about this longevity pay instead of a huge COLA increase that raises some people's salaries more than others. That maybe instead of that, do a longevity pay and reward the people that have stayed here for their time. We have a longevity pay system in place. It would be more of a review of that and see if that.
Well, I like what Marshall did.
Well, the way that Marshall had talked to me about it, if we look at, let's say, right now it's $100 or $75 if you work here for 3 to 7, 8, 3 to 8 years, and then 8 years to 12 years, it's $100, and then it's 125 from 12 on. And there's a cap at there's a cap $2,500. So you can work here too long. Is what that tells me.
Okay.
So my proposal is making a flat rate $200 per year. It will be issued when we issue the longevity check. There's no cap. What that does is it rewards the people that have stayed. It's a flat rate, so my 10% of my salary, if we did it, and that's just from, if we did a 10% raise, 10% of my salary is much different than the clerk 10% per side. So it will save the county money while still rewarding the employees that have been here. Just again, just thought, I'm trying to
It makes sense.
reward our employees, but also be conservative about the approach. So mull over those thoughts, and we'll be in budget hearing workshops tomorrow, and we can discuss it more. Yes, ma'am.
The one thing, if you work for the state for 10 years, you get healthcare for us. I've had a couple of elections and appointments in the meeting. If you work here for 30, 35 years consistently with no break in service, can we pay for their health insurance once they retire until they're eligible for Medicare? I don't really disagree. I think it's a great idea. They worked here for 30, 35 years. We can bridge the gap. It's very minimal impact and it's very few people. So if the court could consider something like that in this budget season coming up, that would be great.
It's not a good idea.
Um,
On the opioid liability, but I don't know. I mean, it's something they used to do it years ago. Back when Mr. Irwin was here, they paid $150 a month for Christian Fidelity or something. Till you got Medicare, or maybe that was a supplement, I don't know. I don't think that's the direction the counties need to go in. They give a tremendous amount of health insurance benefits they pay everyone's health insurance in full, plus chip in for their dependents and their spouse. And y'all can do what you
So-
want. I don't think that's a good idea to add a life benefit for long-term people.
Would what you're recommending, would that be for the employee and their entire family?
Yeah.
Just the employee, is that still the same opinion with just the employee? I'm just-
Board's decision.
I understand, but I'm trying to learn, I just, I'm thinking, yeah,
Yeah, well, it's another benefit we can provide, sure.
right. And so you're looking at,
Benefit providing business.
so you're looking at somebody that worked here 30 to 35 years, depending on if we're entertaining the notion. And paying their insurance until they were 65.
And it's been asked several years in a row, I just, if I would bring it to the court, I just asked them on the side and the was gonna know. So I wanted to publicly just ask for these people who are coming to me that are not asking when they're a lot of times.
Well,
Part of
there's another thing,
overall compensation.
right?
Discussion.
I'd like you guys to think about that as well. Again, we'll be back tomorrow and we can re-talk about some of these things we have, sleep on it. Look at some numbers if you'd like. Tomorrow I'm gonna go through my numbers because I was gonna have to print it off for you today. Where we're at on operating expense versus last year's revenue. I wanna be sure I put all the numbers in right, cause the way we take in these budget sheets, it's kind of hectic. And I'm afraid I might have missed a budget sheet in my spreadsheet. That's gonna print this number out. So tomorrow, this afternoon, I'm gonna go through and make sure I got all my numbers in right. I'm gonna print you guys out. It's just the recap only, and it has last year's revenue on it, I believe still. It came from your last sheet, so I think
We still coming back at 1 o'clock?
no, we're done.
We're done.
She's gonna come in tomorrow.
Okay,
So it's only Miss Hightower.
you can go play golf now.
Yeah. After that flood we got Sunday and Monday, had 20 miles of road underwater.
Oof.
So I'm going through doing damage assessment right now,
Right.
and I'll have you some numbers probably next week. But that thing did 8 months worth.
Okay.
On all those roads.
Sheesh.
Takes a little bit,
Yeah.
Huh?
only takes a minute. to undo.
Yeah,
That
and
crazy. Only takes a
And-
couple days and it's.
it seems like
Now we're at 7 million.
one of the things that we didn't take into consideration when we approving the solar farms is the impact that infrastructure has on drainage. And we need to take a hard look at that.
Why would that? Do we?
I've got a road
We're
over
done. I've got, I'm
34
hunting a few documents.
1153. I mean, it's their road, they're responsible for that change.
You need me?
It's something that.
All right,
No, I don't
Oh,
have
she's
I'm
waiting
just
for-
standing up. I'm just waiting until y'all are
Commissioner
done.
Duncan.
Make a motion, we adjourn till 8:30 in the morning.
All right, we stayed adjourned until 12.
Tomorrow.
I've got Commissioner's Court.